Welcome back to the DrewCast, episode 132. I'm your host, Mello15. I hope you guys had a happy Thanksgiving. I'm actually shooting this the day before, so tomorrow's the big day. Tomorrow's actually the first time in my entire life. This is actually crazy to think about, right? But in my entire life, I've always spent Thanksgiving with like my family or with the person I'm dating's family, right? Tomorrow's the first time that I will be doing something completely different. Is it weird? Yes, it is weird, but it's kind of exciting. I didn't want it to be that way, but it is that way. So I'm going to look forward to it in a different type of way, right? So if you guys comment below, what did you guys do for your Thanksgiving, and what is your favorite Thanksgiving food, or like holiday food in general, right? Like we can add Christmas in there too. Like, what's your favorite like Thanksgiving Christmas food? Bro, I love cranberry sauce, dude. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna lie. What you do? What you do, man? I love cranberry sauce, turkey, and ham. Hey, that's the whole podcast. I should literally just walk out. Can you imagine? Hey, turkey, ham, cranberry sauce. And peace out. But I don't know how long this episode's gonna be. To be honest with you, I kind of want to make it shorter because of tomorrow's Thanksgiving, and this just be a really busy weekend in general with like work, and I understand you guys are gonna be busy, so we're gonna be talking about David Grusch going on the Joe Rogan podcast. When I saw that the other day, that is actually the very first full Joe Rogan podcast I've watched since he's went to Spotify. You know what I mean? I watch clips on the YouTube still, and occasionally I'll go to Spotify and probably watch half an episode or more than half, but this is actually the first that I watched full to front to back full, right? And I feel like this might be one of Joe's most important episodes. I think he knows that too, right? It's not every day that you have someone on David Grush's level on your podcast, right? David Grush kind of, talks about similar stuff that he's went on other podcasts and talked about, especially when he first came out with News Nation. So he kind of, touches on a lot of stuff that he's been touching on, but there's a couple things that I've never heard before in this Joe Rogan interview. We're gonna address some of that. And just give my, general thoughts, and then we'll send you guys off on a good Thanksgiving. But now this happens later on in the podcast, and I'm nowhere like I am nowhere I said we're I am nowhere I'm nowhere near the level of Joe Rogan's fame. So I could only imagine, right, that someone on his level of fame deals with this on like a bigger scale. But right around the time like my TikTok started popping off and some of my videos on Instagram Reels were getting up into like the 200,000, 300,000 views, you start to notice something, right? Your comment section, the people who comment, the type of comments you're getting. I mean, bro, literally, Mr. Beast got hated on for building wells in Africa, right? He put wells in Africa, got hated on, which is proof that no matter what you talk about, you could literally be trying to save somebody. It's like in The Incredibles. Remember in The Incredibles? The guy jumps, Mr. Incredible saves him. I'm suing you now. And the guy won. The guy won that lawsuit. But what I'm getting at is he talks about basically avoiding reading the comment section, kind of avoiding being on social media in general. Well, David Grush isn't really on social media, he said. And Joe was talking about just like, hey, I don't really read my comments. I don't really interact anymore because just of how much hate comes with what we do here. And like I said, I'm nowhere near that level of fame, but I totally get it, bro. I totally get it because there's a lot of videos of mine that I've done really good, made me really proud, right? And those videos just, they bring out the worst in people, dude. You could literally be talking about, I mean, in the past, I mean, I get it. Like this subject, the UFO subject is going to bring out probably some of the worst people online, right? And I understand that going into it, okay? I understand that. There's a lot of people, David Grush, Bob Lazar, Jeremy Corbell, they probably get thousands upon thousands, if not millions of comments just being rude to them, right? So I related to that part because I was like, damn, I remember there was this one specific video on TikTok where I was talking about, like UFOs being at like nuke sites and power plants and turning off silos. And I remember like the comment section just it at one point it turned into a roast, but then it became a normal comment section again. So I was like, hey, what you do? That scared me. It scared me into reading comments for a very long time. I will occasionally do it. It's just, if you already know what's coming, do you have to, and I kind of I agreed with Joe Rogan on the most part when it came to that part. So speaking of the actual like the UFO field, it's one of those. It's a touchy subject, right? Because there's a lot of people who believe, there's a lot of people who don't believe, right? There's a lot of people who want proof. There's a lot of people who don't care what type of proof you give them. They're gonna call it fake, CGI, AI, right? This subject has a really large tendency to like feed on your soul, right? And there's times when like I'll go a couple weeks in a row, doing these type of videos, and it feels like it's feeding on my soul, right? It feels like I'm giving so much to it that when I try to go to a different type of episode, centered around like comic books or movies, it kind of feels like the last 4 weeks like just like drained me, right? So that's another reason I tried avoiding the comment section for a while, because the topic itself is already a draining topic, right? A lot of people who are in this UFO field, or people who are content creators, or people who are interested in this stuff, you guys can back me up 100%. Like this topic is very interesting, but it drains so much from you. Like whether you're a believer or a skeptic, either side can, like, this is probably something that both sides can agree on. Like this topic just takes so much from you. It feels like it feeds on your soul. And all the hate comments, all the people who just really aren't educated on certain things chiming in and like getting all these retweets and attention off you. It just sometimes you know I don't really know how to explain it further than that, but like the phenomenon itself, it there's good to it, right? There's a lot of good to it. I feel like there's a lot of good to it, but a lot of it just sometimes it can, punch you right in your mouth sometimes. And if you're not prepared for it, or you have a different view on it when that punch comes, right? Because they will. And when it comes, just be prepared, right? One of the things that I was interested when, one of the things I was actually interested though when David Grusch was talking to Joe Rogan, people's reaction, right? Disclosure has always been something that's really hard to talk to the general public about, because we've been lied to for so long. How do we know anything's true, right? Like it's literally to the point, like AI is becoming so good right now, and technology is becoming so good. How do we know anything we're seeing is real, right? And it's kind of been manufactured that way, right? Because now it's like, hey, we do want to be honest with them. Maybe we should tell the public what's going on, but how can we tell them when everything we've told them is a lie up until now? And now they're just gonna believe us now? No, right? Like, oh hey guys, we steal trillions of your tax money. We steal trillions and trillions and billions of your tax money, but believe us now, right? That's the problem. Okay. So how will the public react to disclosure? I tend to think that the newer generation won't have a hard time grasping a lot of these ideologies and topics. It's probably going to be the older people who give the most pushback. And, if you would have said that like 20, 30 years ago, they would have said, we're the ones that can't handle it. But now look at you. You know what I mean? Like, look at them now, bro. Like, they're probably not going to be able to handle it as well as others. So that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. But I think the public can handle it. I believe so. I truly think so. And, just give us a shot, right? Like, I know they're trying to do slow drip disclosure. Just, every once in a while, it's something. So, just throw out the good stuff, right? And then you could kind of like gauge what, because it seems like people don't care. Like, be honest with yourselves, right? Like, someone like me 20 years ago, I would have been, I mean, they probably think I'm a nut now, pause, but they probably think like 20 years ago, I would have been the conspiracy theory dude, the crazy dude, nobody wants to talk to him dude, the ooh, alien dude, right? But now there's like bills in Congress being passed and the Senate's talking about it, and like real life ramifications are happening because of this. So you can't be the crazy dude forever, right? They kind of throw out the whole like, David Grusch mentioned it too about national security, and that is important, right? We do need national security because the other countries that don't like America, don't think for 1 second they aren't reverse engineering this stuff too. They are. He confirms it in the podcast. I mean, he doesn't say which country and how many craft they might have recovered, right? He doesn't say that, but you don't bet against that, right? They are reverse engineering this stuff, and they're trying to get themselves on top, just like America is, just like Russia is. Every country's trying to position themselves to be the top dog, right? Now, if you start disclosing alien technology and alien presence and whatever is surrounding this topic to the general public, you might have just gave another country the upper hand, right? You might have just gave another country the keys to this entire planet. So the national security part, I get it. I agree. There's certain things that we probably shouldn't know, right? Like, yeah, tell us that there's other life out there. Tell us that they're visiting, tell us tell us when a craft crash and like, is Roswell really a balloon, right? Like, tell us that stuff. But the other stuff, yeah, like, because you don't want like certain people to have this technology. Like, you shouldn't, right? I totally agree with that sentiment, right? Like, you shouldn't want certain terrorist groups to have the technology to like go 60 miles in 1 second, right? You shouldn't want that. That doesn't really sound good in the hands of evil people. And not to say that they aren't already evil, the people who have it now, just throwing that out there. Like, yeah, there's evil, and then there's like, hey, let's disclose this to the public, and any random person can just go try to do it. And you might not agree. And at the end of the day, I believe national security is important. But just there's certain, like David Grusch said, there's certain information we should be telling them, right? We should be holding these people accountable, and the public should know. So to end the episode, he reveals that the CIA actually blocked Lockheed Martin from divesting whatever material they had. It kind of just further shows you how deep and how scary these gatekeeping UFO alien programs go. I mean, I've said on multiple podcasts, there's probably a lot of people who have died for this, right? There's careers have been ruined, lives have been taken, like money has been stolen. Like I've been talking about this a lot recently, but when a lot of our trillions and billions of our tax-paying money is being stolen from us for these black covert programs, it's only fair that like you just feel angry, like you just like, how could they be doing that to us, right? Like we're supposed to trust these people, and they're stealing that much money from us. And not only are they stealing this tax money, they're sending it to other countries. So now other countries, I mean, it's not that those countries don't deserve help, but we at home deserve help too, right? There's the homeless problem. I can go into it. I can go into the subject for like a whole podcast, but when he said that the CIA blocked Lockheed Martin from divesting it, it just goes to show you, like, when we talk about the cabal, or we talk about a secret group of people who actually run everything, because clearly it's not Joe Biden, right? Like, I hope we are all grown enough, right? And I hope we're all like it's kind of just that simple. I hope we're all grown enough to realize that Joe Biden doesn't run anything, right? There's probably a secret like group that does. For the longest time, people have called it the cabal, the Illuminati, and whether or not you believe in that stuff, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because there is a secret group who runs everything. They don't have your best interest at heart. They're stealing your tax money. They're hiding free energy from you. They're hiding whatever technology comes from these craft. They're hiding it from the general public. All the biggest secrets in the world, they're hiding it. So do they really have your best interest at heart when like they literally are they're working you to death. They're stealing your tax money and they're taking technologies that can benefit this planet and hiding it, all for the benefit of war. They don't care. And it's when I found out that the CIA did that, they blocked Lockheed Martin from doing that. It just goes to show you, maybe it's not them, maybe it's another group, but somebody is pulling the strings and blocking disclosure from happening. Why, you say? There's a lot of reasons, and we can get into that other episodes. But I want you guys to know, thank you for showing up. Thank you for listening. This is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode, but I really, really appreciate you guys for, tuning in. I really hope you guys have a happy Thanksgiving for real, though. I hope you had one. Because this will come out Monday. Thanksgiving, will already have passed. There's a lot to be thankful for. And there's a lot that I wish I could redo when it comes to this year. But, you can't do that. So I am thankful for, just the friendships. Friendships. There's a lot of people in my life who have shown me more love and more just overall respect than my actual own family. And it feels good, It feels good to know that like there's people on this earth who care and there's people who love, But yeah, that's episode 132, guys. Until next time, peace.